listening to Xposed Living, Be Ageless, the podcast where we drop the masks, flip the script, and talk real life, real love, and real leadership unfiltered. I'm Stacey Vanthuyne, coach, speaker, entrepreneur, and founder of the Xposed Living movement that's redefining what it means to live, lead, and grow at any age. We talk identity, reinvention, belief, and freedom from the bedroom to the boardroom. Yes, we go there. This is not about staying young. This is about waking up. So if you're done with the shoulds and craving more fun, more freedom, more truth, more you, then grab your favorite drink, your bestie, maybe your journal. It's time. Let's get exposed.
I am terrified right now, but every major thing I've done in my life that I've been terrified of. So we can get into it, but I had a major fear of the water, and that has become one of my biggest passions and hobbies. I love being in the water now. It's been a while since I've gone in, but I hated public speaking. That's my biggest strength right now, and that was one of my biggest fears. I was bullied as a kid, something fierce, and that affects those other two areas. Networking, I hated doing it. Now I run workshops to teach people how to network, how to connect. And so all these things that were really big fears of mine that I've done, they're things that I'm so thankful that I've gone ahead and done. And being a father scared the crap out of me, but it's been amazing too. And so, yes, I'm terrified of going back, and I've got a million things that I'm like, oh, what if this, and this? But I also think, look at those moments that in my life that were terrifying, and I did them, and what's happened to them since. And it
so good.
Really is that difference. My fears were life and death, really life and death, and I overcame them. So just moving across the world, it's not as big of a deal. It's scary, but not as scary as other things that I've had to deal with.
I love that perspective. Hey, this stuff at the beginning, I'm going to keep it, and we'll mix it up because it's too good. I love this. So, really unfiltered and unscripted, and welcome back to Xposed Living, Be Ageless. Today's conversation is happening in the now. And from him moving to telling a story to us just jumping in, pressing record, and going, because what you'll come to learn about, Tom does few things that few people will have the courage to do. It's starting over. My guest is Tom Broxham, a networking and connection specialist who helps people walk into any room with confidence. So Tom's in New Zealand, and within the next 3 days is taking his family, his wife, his 2 kids, and himself across the world, back to Canada. Never been in Edmonton, but moving here. And this is so great because on Xposed Living, we talk a lot about reinvention stories. And Steve Jobs would say, it's easy to look back and connect the dots looking backwards. But Tom is vulnerable to come out here today and share what it's like to be in the messy middle, real time. Like I said, he's moving to Edmonton, new city, new rooms, new relationships. So it isn't a conversation about networking theory. This is about what it actually looks like to step into an unknown and build something from the ground up. And instead of waiting until you've got it all figured out, as we also were just talking about how it's so hard for us Gen X not to have everything figured out before we make a move. Let's talk about it while you're in it. So Tom, welcome to Xposed Living.
Thanks. It's great to be here. And it's funny, as you're talking about moving, I moved my camera a little bit, but right behind me is just a wall of boxes.
Are you guys all packing up? And how do you get all your stuff from there to Edmonton?
Well, it's all getting packed up right now, and some of it's going to get stored. And then it may be in a storage container for a little while. Our house is on the market in the moment. You name it, we're doing it all right now. And some of it, we're just kind of winging it. And it's funny just how many little pieces there are. And every now and then it's like, okay, we finally got one little victory in here. Okay, this is what's happening. But every now and then you might be talking to someone who should be an expert in doing this, like as for an example, for a moving company. And then they're asking me questions. They're telling me, well, what about this? I'm like, you're the expert. You tell me. Why am I looking this up? I don't know. I don't know how to do this. My first time I've had to do this. Give me some help. But,
Right.
yeah.
Because how long have you been in New Zealand for?
I came here originally in 2015 on a holiday working visa. And then I met my now wife. And so I was here for a year, went back to Canada for a year, wound up in Dawson City, Yukon, applied for a visa,
Wow.
got rejected, was then sitting in a friend's place in Airdrie on social assistance, had nothing, completely afraid. And then my wife paid for my ticket to come over. I came over, didn't even know if I was going to be able to get a visa, got it, and I've been here since 2017. So it's been a while.
Wow. So your two children are both New Zealanders.
They are. We decided to go back in 2024 for Christmas. And
Okay.
we had passports for them. Everything was set. And I knew, because, I'm Canadian, they'll get their Canadian citizenship. Didn't really think anything of it. I saw a Facebook post about, from Canadians in New Zealand. And it started asking about, well, my Canadian citizenship, what happens with them if they're flying over? We were stopped at the border. We weren't allowed to come in. We were allowed. Oh, maybe I better take a look into this. So I think it was like October 2024. I started looking into, can my kids fly over? And basically, if you're Canadian and you have children that are born abroad, you have to get them their Canadian passports to be able to get into the country. Any Canadian returning home needs to have their Canadian passport. And we thought, great, we're going to get stuck with that one person that's not going to let them in or something. And so we put a rush on everything, and it was kind of the last minute that we were able to get things through. But now they have their official Canadian passports. They have their Canadian or their Kiwi passports, so they're good to go. But talk about stressful. Yeah, it was just months before that, and so definitely a lot of stress there. But it worked out.
It worked out. So is this the kids' first time coming over to snow? You know that in Edmonton we still have snow.
Yeah. Well, so we went over.
It's melting though. There's hope.
Yeah, we'll get there April 22nd. They were there in December, January, so they've seen snow. My only thing is they're going to be thinking, like a lot of people who haven't been to Canada, is it just snow all the time? No, there really isn't. There's grass and there's other things and there's other seasons. We get in New Zealand, it just kind of seems like one season. It's rain and that's about it, or a scorching sun. And so it's funny because they've talked a lot about the snow, and it's no. When we get there should still be snow, but it'll be gone shortly after that. But yeah, so they've
But that's
been
all
over.
right. Then they'll think they'll be excited for next year because they won't know how long it's for.
Well, I wound up in Dawson City, Yukon, the last time I was living in Canada.
Right.
And so before I went up there, everybody told me how cold it was, how expensive it was, how miserable it was. It was fantastic. And the coldest I felt was minus 42. And I remember being like, I don't care. I need to go out and get beer because the hockey game's on. So I want to go out and get some beer. My eyelashes are freezing. I'm like, this is okay. I don't mind this. A few months later on, we were driving across Canada and we were going through Quebec. I'm wearing like just a muscle shirt because I thought it was just too cranking hot for me. And it was still right around minus 20. And the lady sees me. She says, "What are you doing? Are you crazy?" I said, "No, I was actually just living in the Yukon a few months ago." Said, "Okay, I get it now."
Yeah, that's it. So when you're moving here, it'll just be getting warm. So people are going to be like going in their muscle shirts as you were because who've been here all season. Your kids are going to come and be like, "Where's the toque? Why are they out there? They're weird." Anyway, let's get on to sharing with people, being in the moment. One thing that you talk about and you do and you support teams and people with is ultimately helping them to gain that confidence to network. So I'm curious, you've gone through some changes in your life. Which skill set or belief about yourself would you say has been the most instrumental in getting you over that? Because you're saying like, I'm scared and right. And things happen, but it's interesting now looking back. So looking back, because you've had numerous changes and restarts, as you said, like feel free to go into more of them. What do you think is that constant that really has helped you propel? And which one, like looking back, where you're like, shit, that didn't work last time. I am definitely not going to think that.
One of the biggest things has been about connecting with myself. And this is one of the pieces that it took me a long time to really get into with the networking side of it and realize that's the bottom line of what I teach is teaching people how to connect with.
Is this what you do now when you're getting ready to move and you're wondering where am I going to live? How am I going to get my kids all settled in and figure this out and make sure like I'm okay with this changes before when it's by myself, but now I have my family and a different role that I'm in?
Well, and that is occasionally I'll go and just listen to music. I've researched music a little bit more to see how different music waves will help you, and this is the alpha, the beta, the theta, and so forth, and what they kind of do for different states. And it's quite interesting because I have ADHD. It really helps, but there are times when it's like, you know what, just press play, go do the thing that you need to do, and get on with it. And it's also that Gen X thing of you just have to go and do it. You know, like we were kicked out of the house, had to go drink from the garden hose, and you just went and had to go and do the thing that you had to do. If you didn't do it, you were going to have to deal with your parents. So just go and do it.
It's that
Or you
grit.
could, yeah, or you can stay in the comfort zone, which isn't comfortable, and be miserable. So which is, do you want to go dive in, get past that fear, or stay there on the side, miserable, wanting the change and never making that change?
Good. Very good. I know your motto that you talked about is today's connection is tomorrow's opportunity. Do you want to share how you're feeling or anything to say about that as far as a moment that played out in your life?
Well, that's what people forget with networking is they think, okay, I've got to connect with someone today. They either have to give me a job or have to give me a sale or something else. And we've put so much pressure on that connection today. And look at your email inbox, like how many spam emails do you have in there or cold messages, and the people aren't trying to get to know you. They're just trying to rush in and get somewhere. And that's why I always like to think that today's connection really is tomorrow's opportunity, because you don't know what will happen tomorrow. You don't know who they might know, what opportunities they have for you. And so some of the opportunities that I have right now, it's because I connected with someone to connect. No other reason. And when I'm thinking about Edmonton, last year I had 5 connections. Now I have over 200 and some. I have invites out to different events. I have a few coffees here and there, a few. I've had a few calls.
Podcast.
A few people have, yeah, that's it. And a few people have passed my resume along to someone else who wants to have a chat with me. A few possible presentations, and so there's always opportunities that are around. But you have to go and take those. You have to have those conversations and build that relationship. Don't think about just diving in and going full bore. It's kind of like that person that goes to a networking event and throws his business card at every single person around. That's not going to help you. You know, build those relationships. That's what you need to really go and do. And that's the other element that I really teach is building those relationships.
Yeah. You hear this a lot when you're going to network. If you're going in with the intention to get versus give, it's completely energy and it's felt. And people don't have that ability to be able to trust. They're like, I don't know, there's just something kind of off, right? And I think what I love so much about you and building the connections that you are and stuff is that like you can really tell that you're into to give, to add value, and trust that what happens will happen with that. But it really is then about seizing the moment, which was the next thing that kind of came into my head when you were saying that, because how many times an opportunity will get there and we will say we're not ready, but the chances are we're never ready till you're in it and you get that confidence going through it, whether it was getting off the edge of the pool or booking like the plane ticket and getting on the plane with it. You'll grow through it. And I'm grateful for you sharing those stories, because I think that that's what stops a lot of people of getting what they want.
That's all it comes down to. And that's why, like, for me, one of the big things was going back into my childhood and seeing where everything started to connect. And once I was able to start to connect everything, it's like, oh, that's why I'm doing this. That's how, this is why this happens. And this is where I'm going with everything. And it really did start making a huge difference. And it's funny, when I had my speaker coach, I went in to get help with building a workshop, but then he helped me in so many other ways, and it helped me to heal some of my childhood trauma without even trying to help me heal it. And so many good habits that I started doing just from working with him, and he was just trying to help me with one piece, but he helped me with so much more.
Yeah, change your identity. I mean, those are really
Absolutely.
great things. Thank you. So with these Xposed Living, we get into a kind of a rapid fire round of questions. But before we do that, I want to make sure people know, how can they get more of Tom in their lives?
Well, everybody wants a little bit more of Tom in their life, and my wonderful mustache. Very soon, you're going to be looking for that guy with a lovely mustache and the pink suit, or at least the pink shirt, in a networking event in Edmonton. I'm going to be there very soon. But yeah, at 90%. And 90, if you see somebody dancing a little bit strangely outside of a networking event, that may very well be me, just about to come in. But I spend a lot of my time on LinkedIn. I create content and engage and post on there on a very regular basis. And then there is also my website as well too. I do have a Canadian number, but I'm waiting for my other to land so I can get my proper Canadian number too.
Do share your, what's your website?
So it's tombroxham.com.
Okay, awesome. And for anyone listening, check the show notes, because all of Tom's contact information will be there. Tom, you ready for a little fire round before we end things off today?
Sure, let's go.
Share with me, coffee meeting or networking event?
Networking meeting to get the coffee.
Yeah, hey. Small group or big room?
I like a small group. If it's a big room, I want to be at the front. Then I can get to the small group.
Okay, there we go. Exactly. Like for my networking and for my speaking. What's one word that defines great connection?
Trust.
That's nice. What's one habit that builds confidence fast? A habit that builds confidence fast.
For me, it's music. Listening to music
before
doing that very thing.
Oh, good. First thing you notice about someone?
The eyes. Always someone's eyes. You can tell a lot by them.
The windows to the soul.
Yes.
So I've heard. Cheesecake or steak? You better get this one down, because what are you going to eat when you first... Actually, that's what I should ask you. What's the first meal you're going to eat when you're back here and you take your kids out for? Is there a specific restaurant that maybe you don't have where you live that they're excited to come here for?
Well, besides getting a double and some Timbits, I think it's going to be Smitty's. Getting some pancakes from Smitty's.
Yeah, get some pancakes. I was thinking of blueberry pancakes the other day from there. All right, Tom, take us home. At this stage of your life, in this season that you're in, what does Xposed Living mean to you?
It's putting myself out there in the way that I was too afraid of as a kid and as a teenager. And putting myself out there so other people can see that it's not that scary to put yourself out there and to be who you are.
Mic drop. Mic drop. Oh my gosh. The honesty, the vulnerability, the rawness that you brought to today's conversation, Tom, I am grateful for. I appreciate this conversation so much. Not because you just talks about connection, but throughout this whole episode was demonstrating how to build that connection. You're living it now. I'm excited to meet you in person. To everyone listening, whether you're walking into a networking event, a new role, or a new chapter of your life, remember this. You don't need to know everyone in the room. In fact, sometimes you don't even know how to get into the room. You just need to take that step, to have the courage to start, to Listen to a little bit of music to shift that energy, as our good friend Tom shared, because today's connection could change everything tomorrow. So until next time, this is Xposed Living. I'm Stacey Vanthuyne.
That's it for today's episode of Xposed Living, Be Ageless. But this is just the beginning. If this episode made you feel something, share it. Tag me. Send it to a friend. Let's start the conversation we can be having all along. No shame, no guilt. Unfiltered, raw, real, exposed. And if you're ready to go deeper, join us inside the Xposed Living Facebook community, where we take this work off the podcast and into real life. Know this, your change starts when your excuses die. Because this life, this one wild, ageless, unforgettable life is waiting on you. This is your time. This is your truth. This is Xposed Living.